Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
Our next guest divides his time between Lisbon and Zurich, and he actually worked for a year in Beijing as a wine merchant, and his middle name is Lobo, which is Portuguese for wolf. How about that? So, bringing on our next guest, Philippe. Have we got Philippe? Just waiting for the slides to activate. Philippe Lobo Küng with Let's Build Profitable Businesses.
Hello. Perfect. All right. So I want to talk about the differences between a startup and a successful startup. And mind you, this is just my take. I'm still learning, obviously, so take it easy on me. When I first started to try and define what are the differences between a normal startup and a successful startup, it was kind of hard. It's kind of hard to put your finger on something, you know. There's no textbook answer. There's no like 5 steps that you can follow. There's no model which you can apply like overall. It's just one of those things which you have to get out and learn by yourself. At least I think so. And if there'd be an American guy right now on stage, he'd be shouting, "The only way to go forward is to fail and fail fast," as you all have heard, I'm sure. And yeah, but failure is something that's not that easy to talk about. It's and those who have passed through failure know that it's hard, it's tough. So I don't know whether or not they're right about it being the only way to go forward and the only way to learn, or even if it's worth it. All I know is my personal experience with failure and what it meant in my journey. And that's what I'd like to share here today with you guys. So I'm going to give you an example of just one of the times which I had failure. So right after my first job, I had this startup idea that I've always really wanted to do, and I decided that I was going to go for it. And it was one of those ideas which it burns in your brain, like you get obsessed about it, you love it, you want to make it happen. And we got a really good team to do it. And we were all really motivated. We all knew or thought it was going to be the next big thing, and it was going to be epic. And we even made the first prototype. With the first prototype, we got our first users. It was pretty neat. It was like, I gotta say, it was maybe one of the best moments of my life, working for something that you love, that makes sense to you. That was really special. But at some point, you needed to go further. And if we wanted to go further, we needed to commit to the idea. And to commit to the idea, we needed to leave our jobs. And for that, we needed investors. Like so many bootstrap startups know this reality. So we took out to marketing. We did digital marketing campaigns, PR, pitching, the whole shebang. But the investor never came. And without the investors and without that support, the idea kind of just faded away, and we had to go back to our jobs, and yeah, that was basically it. And it's really tough to see something which you really love and care for, something which you really wanted to do, and see it, seeing it get washed down the drain. But that's just one example of failure at the end of the day. Every single failure is the same. Every time that you fail feels the same. It's like you pour your heart out into something. You give it your time. You give it all your resources. You give it your heart and soul. And then it just doesn't work, and it gets washed away. And you have to start all over again. It's not only because you promised yourself something you didn't manage to deliver. It's also because the people that believed in you right there and then became disappointed. It feels like somebody pulls a rug from underneath your feet. That's what failure actually feels like. And it takes a chunk out of you. It takes a chunk out of you. But from every failure, at least from that failure, like I learned something. When I looked back and I saw, like, what did I do wrong? What the hell actually happened? I saw that it was a problem that I made. It was a mistake that I made. I was too dead set on this kind of like Silicon Valley, you got to go big or you got to go home. Like every business needs to be epic. You have to do the next best thing or else just forget about it. Instead of focusing on what is really important, which is creating a sustainable business. And that was my mistake, and that's what I learned from that failure. But every failure teaches you something different. And then you're supposed to take that and know what to do with it. So the next time when we were going to start my next business with my new partners, and they had gone through their own journeys with their own failures and their own lessons, we got together when we already knew what we had to do. We created a sustainable business right from the beginning. We knew that we had to create value we focused on a product or solving a problem that was tangible, you know? We knew that we had to focus on bulletproof business models, mitigating risk, cash and liquidity was important, you know, the importance of executing, the importance of building your product close to your customers. All of these things, we already knew them. And it worked. So, whether, you know, when these guys say you need to get out there and you need to fail and you need to fail fast, then, I don't know, like, it's tough. It's really tough. No pain, no gain. Sometimes I think that the guys who write that damn t-shirt don't even know what it means. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, at least I know this is the same for me and my partners when we're walking into our office every day and we're doing, you know, something which adds value and we're doing something that helps people and we're doing what we love every single day. Then maybe those guys, maybe that American guy is right. No pain, no gain, you know, because if that's the price to pay, I sure as hell do it all over again. And it's just that I wanted to say, so thanks. Thank you.